Clarity doesn't arrive louder. It arrives quieter and then waits to see if you'll listen. You tell yourself you're just waiting to feel more certain, waiting to see how it plays out, waiting for the next sign that makes it obvious. You say things like, I just need a little more time. I'm not sure yet. I want to be thoughtful about this. And on the surface, that sounds reasonable and responsible. But you know that moment when you're saying you're unsure and something in your body already knows? Yeah. Your chest feels tight. Yeah. Your stomach feels heavy. Your thoughts loop the same questions over and over and over again. What's really happening is not confusion. It's delay. And not because you don't know, but because acting on what you know would change something. I'm glad you're here, Queen. This is one of those patterns that hides in plain sight. And most women never question it because it looks like wisdom. It does. So before we go further, subscribe now, not for certainty, but for alignment. Because clarity doesn't come from waiting. It comes from trusting what you already recognize. This is Queen's Daily Standard, where we tell the truth about the pauses that slowly erode self-trust, right? You stay honest with yourself here. I stay grounded with you. That's the agreement. That's our promise to each other. So let's walk through this together, right? Waiting for clarity didn't start as avoidance. It started as caution. At some point, you learned that impulsive decisions had consequences, that choosing wrong could cost you some time, safety, or even connections, that being sure mattered. So you learned to pause. You gathered more information. You observed longer. You told yourself you were being wise about it. And sometimes that pause is wisdom. It is. But here's a shift I want you to notice. There's a difference between pausing to listen and pausing to avoid the moment when you'll have to choose. You can usually feel which one it is, right? When it's listening, your body feels open. Your breath moves. There's space. There is. When it's avoidance, your body braces. Your shoulder lifts, your jaw tightens, your thoughts speed up, looking for reasons to stay still. Queen, at some point, the pause stopped serving you. It started protecting your fear instead. Right? Think of one thing you've been waiting on. Not intellectually, physically. Notice what your body does when you imagine acting. Right? That reaction is information. Many women were taught that certainty should come before movement, that waiting was responsible, that hesitation meant you were thoughtful, that action without full clarity was reckless, right? So you learn to distrust your first knowing. You learn to wait for proof, for confirmation, for permission that never really actually arrives. You didn't invent this training, but continuing in it now has a cost, and you can feel it. It feels like being suspended, like your life is on hold in one specific area, like you're carrying low-grade anxiety that never resolves. So what does this look like in real life, practically? This usually show up as your sense, right? You sense misalignment but don't name it. You notice patterns and tell yourself you need more data. You stay in situations that drain you, waiting for clarity to arrive. You say, let me see how I feel later. And later comes and nothing's changed except your energy. You feel heavier, you feel more tired, less clear than before. Yeah, that's because clarity doesn't grow with time. When it's ignored, it fades. That's what happens. I want to be very grounded here. A man who is emotionally available trusts clarity. He doesn't need urgency. He doesn't need pressure. But he does need to feel that you trust yourself. When you hesitate instead of responding, it doesn't read as discernment. It reads as disconnection from yourself. And disconnection weakens polarity quietly. Not dramatically, just steadily, it weakens it. Right? Your first knowing wasn't reckless, it was information. And information doesn't need permission to be valid. It doesn't. Let that breathe. You weren't waiting because you were confused. You were waiting because acting would change things. It might disappoint someone. It might end something familiar. It might require you to stand alone for a moment. So you delayed. You told yourself clarity would arrive later, when really clarity had already arrived quietly and was waiting for your response. It was. Every time you delay, you teach yourself something subtle, that your knowing isn't enough on its own. And that lesson, it adds up. Awareness is how you interrupt it, though. Right? So let's walk in that awareness so we can interrupt it. Delay is still a decision, love. Waiting is still choosing. Your body knows before your mind agrees. Clarity doesn't demand action, but it does require respect. It requires to be seen. Right? Let's make this gentle and real. Today, identify one place you're waiting despite knowing. Name, honestly, what acting would require. Take one clean step, not dramatic, just one small step. Notice what happens in your body afterwards. Often there's fear and relief at the same time, because the woman you're becoming doesn't wait for certainty to trust herself. She moves calmly, steadily, with what she already knows. That discernment is powerful, right? After this, something else usually happens. When you stop waiting, there's often a surge of effort, a reflex to do more instead of deciding more clearly. Next, we'll talk about doing too much, how over effort becomes another way to avoid alignment. If you feel the urge to compensate instead of choose, that's normal. We'll walk through it together, per usual. So, if it's named where you've been paused instead of present, subscribe now and stay trained in your standard. Right? Time doesn't give clarity, integrity does. It does. So as always, stay blessed and stay crowned, and I'll talk to you soon, Queen. Take care.